Welcome back, finally, to Radio Free Endor. My name is Jonathan, and joining me, as always, is Nicki.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
it's going. I'm ready for the movie.
Yep, same. Lots of Star Wars stuff has been going on. We got some cool looking posters, the Entertainment Weekly stuff. Of course, we haven't really discussed the newest trailer, unfortunately. And then the international trailer, and then half a dozen TV spots. So, I'm not sure if we're gonna get into all of it because we're not gonna do a 2-hour show like some podcasts do, because that's just too much. Too much in one sitting. I've done 2 hours before, and it's just too much. So, for me. So we're gonna do kind of a walkthrough of it. Oh yeah. Well, first we'll say before we get into like a commentary of the trailers kind of thing, or rather we'll stop it and start it a lot. I think so. PG-13 is what the movie's rated now.
Yep.
So. Yep. Not unexpected. I kind of got the darkness from the movie. I think that's kind of how the movies are these days. That just doesn't look good marketing if it's PG.
Well, I think that also PG and PG-13 have evolved over time, and PG movies are really, really kids movies now.
Right.
So I think that PG-13 means something a lot different than it did at the beginning of. I think Red Dawn was the first PG-13 film.
Yeah.
And it was for excessive violence and language, and they didn't want, 13-year-old, anyone under 13 to see it without a parent. Now PG-13 means almost what PG used to be.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's for the violence.
Right. I mean, like Ant-Man, the violence isn't too bad, it's just it's like right on the edge.
Yeah, but it also has language.
Yeah.
That, apparently, you can't say certain words without getting an extra rating.
Yeah.
It's just words, people. Just words.
Yeah. Well, you know what it can affect on kids. The kids start repeating the words, and then,
I learned my what you would call naughty language from my parents.
Yep, so it doesn't really make a difference in that case.
My parents always said there's no such thing as a bad word. You can't give good or bad connotation to words. There's appropriate and inappropriate.
Interesting. All right. Well, for that talk, to be discussed on an unmade podcast, that could be coming your way. And
it explains my filthy mouth.
Yes. Off air, of course.
Off air.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna kind of go through the trailer. I made a StarWars.com has a decent list of the Force Awakens stuff, but they don't have it's not as comprehensive as the playlist I made, to be honest. It's not exactly high on their list, I suppose. So yeah. So we're gonna start with that first trailer. Let me open up the playlist and do it on my phone because I don't want to slow the connection down.
So the first trailer?
Yeah, well, the third trailer. Well, okay, so some people are calling, there's the first teaser, the second teaser, and some places online it says the first trailer, and sometimes they say the third trailer,
Right. To me, a trailer has dialogue, whereas the teasers did not.
Right.
Except for that last one, which was Chewie, we're home.
Right. Okay.
So the first one on the list?
Yes.
With the stormtroopers.
Oh, no, wait. We already did that one. We already did the
Yeah, I know. I was going to say.
Right. Okay. Well, the playlist is just kind of a general kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so number 2 on the playlist, if anyone wants to follow along, I'll post it on the Facebook page.
The one with Finn and Rey.
Right.
In the image.
So we'll kind of stop and start kind of thing, I think. Isn't that what we did last time? We kind of stopped and started?
I think we just kind of did a running thing and then we talked about it afterwards.
Okay. Cool.
But however you want to do it, I'm good.
Okay.
I think I've memorized this trailer, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kind of start off with the scavenger kind of girl, scavenging. We assume it's Rey, kind of scavenging around. This is when, of course, she says, this is the one where she says, I'm nobody, right?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm no one.
I mean, we just don't really get a whole lot of the story.
I was raised to do one thing.
No, but
I've got nothing to fight for.
They've been so protective about the story, I'm not surprised.
Right.
But what they've put together is incredibly intriguing.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
I want to know what he's doing to Poe.
There are stories about what happened. It's true. All of it.
I think it's cool that he's the one saying it.
Yeah.
Because he was the one who didn't believe in all that stuff in the beginning.
Jedi.
So true.
They're real. The Force. It's calling to you.
We finally get Leia.
Just let it in.
Okay. So we watched the trailer again. Okay, so we know Rey is the scavenger, she's kind of scavenging around for different kinds of things. She says that she's nobody, right?
Right, she's just a scavenger.
Lupita Young goes, what's her name? What's the alien's name again?
I don't remember.
Starts with an M. I believe it says, "Who are you?" So, and as we know, like Lupita Nyong'o, her character, is like 1,000 years old or something.
Right, and she's performance capture, so that'll be awesome to see.
Right. I mean, of course, we know BB-8 was with originally with Poe, and somewhere along the way, Rey finds BB-8, so
kind of like R2 and 3PO, formerly under the employment of Captain Antilles.
right. So let's see, and then that's when Finn says, like, I have nothing to live for, right? Or no, what was it? Or I have nothing to.
I'm nobody. She says I'm nobody.
Oh no! Wait, didn't Finn say something later?
Oh, I've got nothing to fight for.
We got nothing to fight for, right?
I've been raised all my life for one thing, that we assume is to be a stormtrooper, and now he is questioning what he's doing. I've got nothing left to fight for because he doesn't believe in what they're doing.
Yeah.
So he escapes.
Right. I love the look of these new TIE fighters. They're kind of similar designs.
Yeah, but they're a little sleeker and a little more updated.
Right.
But the classic design is still there, which, you gotta love. Just like with the X-Wings, there's a little difference to them, but they're still the X-Wings we know and love.
Right. So what do you think about Vader talking about, I will finish? I mean, not Vader, Kylo Ren saying, I will finish what you started. Looking at this Vader mask, what do you think about this?
Well, there's so much, that's going around the internet. I try not to read all these different theories because I just roll my eyes at most of them. I think the fact, he has Vader's burnt helmet, which means somehow he got it from Endor or from Luke, if Luke kept it. So we have someone who is an adherent of the dark side, but apparently doesn't know that Vader turned back to Anakin and kind of denounced the dark side as he was dying when he chose Luke over the Emperor. So I think that it's like perhaps there's kind of a cult of Vader that Kylo Ren is just like obsessed with Darth Vader. There are theories that Kylo Ren is Luke's son, and therefore that's how he got the helmet, and he wants to be like his grandfather. I don't know. I think that making everything too incestuous, like everybody's related to everybody, is not as interesting. I mean, if somebody's related to the main three, that's fine, but I think we can't do too much of it because everybody's been linked. Oh, that's Han and Leia's kid. That's so-and-so's kid. That's so-and-so's kid.
Yeah, it's kind of already been done in the books, so do we really need it?
Do we need another Jason Solo, turning into Darth Caedus? So I think that you have to give JJ and Lawrence Kasdan the benefit of the doubt and say, I don't think that Kylo Ren is related to the Solo Skywalkers. It's possible, but if they do it, they better do it right, and they better do it really cleverly and not just, oh God, it's true. Yeah, oh great. And then there's people who say that Rey and Kylo Ren are related because their names are so similar. I was like, their names are not really similar. One is Kylo Ren, one is Rey. We don't know her full name. I think it's, it's very typical of adherents of the Sith to, make gods out of their fallen brethren. So here we have a Sith adherent who decides that Vader is the one he wants to worship.
Right, and I just love that.
Yeah, the mask is pretty cool looking. I mean, nothing's going to be as cool looking as Vader's, but
right.
I think the fact that he's still got, that you have someone who's trying to be like him with that badass lightsaber, I think it's pretty cool. Every time we get one of these spots or trailers, it just like, what is going on? What is going on?
Yes, I know. I mean, JJ just really wants to keep this a secret.
And I appreciate that because so many times you go to a movie theater and you watch a trailer and it's like, well, I don't have to go see that movie now.
Right. I mean, The Martian, I kind of already knew the movie.
Yeah, but that movie was also really worth seeing.
Yeah.
That was a really great movie.
A side note, as far as George Lucas, I don't want to get too off in this because we're talking about the trailer and trying to get caught up, but of course George Lucas, he's a little, what would you say, a little, not...
Over it all?
Yeah, kind of over it all. He
said that he's disconnected himself.
And he's kind of like, yeah, I had another plan, and he's just, I guess he's a little, I'm looking for the word. I'm not saying he's like complaining like a little kid or anything. I'm just saying that he's not.
He's kind of whining about it.
Yeah, he's kind of whining about it.
Well, I love George, and I will always respect and worship the man as the maker, but, he did let it go, and he said he didn't want to watch any of the trailers. He wanted to just go to the movies and see it like a fan. I think he'll be very happy with it, but he has to let his preconceived ideas go, because if he wanted to make episode 7, he would have made episode 7.
Right.
And he would have gotten more involved with, as a consultant. But he, I hate to speak ill of him, but the man sold the company.
Yeah.
To the mouse.
And the reason I'm thought about this, the reason I'm bringing this up is that he was saying how it was either him or we just heard somewhere that, or I think he even joked, hey, who's Han's grandson? Who's Vader's grandson? Or something like that. He joked around with JJ, and JJ's like, oh, George. So it's just, so I think we can kind of deduce that I think in the rewrite, perhaps, you know,
They got rid of that idea.
yeah, there wasn't as much family kind of
Yeah.
dynamic. There wasn't
Because
like
you already have so much family dynamic going on with Luke and Leia, and Vader. We don't want a retread of the original trilogy. I mean, if it happens and yes, somebody in the movie is related to the Solo Skywalker, then that's fine because, it's a small universe or small galaxy. And you kind of want that connection when you move on. Like, we know that the original trio is not going to overshadow the new stars of the film. So they're going to eventually not be a part of it anymore. I don't know if this is their last go around or if they'll be in episode 8. So, but you want some connection to that history, and the easiest way, and I think the most powerful way to connect to the original trilogy is to have someone who's related, is to have an offspring of Han and Leia or of Luke, who can carry on the banner of Star Wars. So in that sense, I would not mind seeing that. I just don't want it to be obvious who is who.
right.
I don't want to watch the movie and go, okay, that's Han and Leia's kid. And why would Han and Leia's kid leave them, or Luke's kid? And if we're jettisoning the expanded universe as anthology, did Luke ever have a kid, or did he follow the true way of the Jedi and not marry and not have children, the way George Lucas always envisioned it? So, I mean, it would be very convenient and be very like, okay, but in a sense, you kind of need that anchor to the history to move on.
Right.
So if one of them's related, that I'm okay with that, but I don't want it to be too incestuous.
Right. Everyone's connected somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think eventually, because they say there was another little news thing. They say like Star Wars movies, you'll never live to see all the Star Wars movies. They'll keep going on. So eventually, we'll have to move away from the Skywalkers.
Well, yeah, and you expect that, but even in the anthologies, when you move on to more like to the legacy with the Fel Empire, you still had a connection between the Fel Empire and the original group, because the leader of the Fel Empire was a descendant of Jaina Solo.
Wow, so now we're really getting to the nitty-gritty. Now we're getting really geeky now. I mean, you're getting to stuff that I'm like, what are we going into now?
But I'm just saying that there's even like the legacy comics take place, I think, 2,500 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and you still have a link to the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
And the Solos. So it's not unheard of to stick with some kind, to have an anchor to the past, which I think a lot of Star Wars is about, a legacy and about, the past and how it affects the future. So I think it makes sense if somebody's related to Luke or somebody's Han and Leia's kid. I just can't imagine them letting their child not grow up with them.
Right. So we see again, so let's see what else. Seeing the Millennium Falcon going around. I know that gave you chill. I'm sure that gave you chills, or
yeah, just seeing it fighting, and it looked like Captain Phasma taking aim.
Right. Let's see. What else in this trailer?
Well, I'm curious as to whether Phasma will ever take off her helmet.
Yeah, that is curious.
Because I got a thing to pre-order the Captain Phasma hot toys from Sideshow Collectibles, and she doesn't have face, just the helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, are we going to see Gwendolyn Christie, or is she completely just going to be covered up the whole time? Which is fine, because she doesn't want, she wants it to be clear that Phasma is a female, but she doesn't want it to be like all about who her character is, which she said in an interview. She said there's a lot of mystery to her, so it'd be kind of cool if she never, because stormtroopers, we don't know what they look like.
Right.
So I'm looking forward. Every time I see more footage of her, I just look forward to more.
Right. So let's see. So what else in this trailer?
Then Finn and Rey get to go on the Falcon.
That is definitely cool. It's true. Those, talking about those stories,
Yeah.
I think it's cool, I heard someone else talk about this, how originally, Han was always like, all this Jedi stuff, whatever.
Ancient religions.
Damn old fool,
hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side.
Right. So now he's kind of like Jedi, the Force. It's all true. Now he's more of a believer.
But I think he believes it exists. I don't think he's an adherent in any means. But he's like, you know what? These things have, gone away. We didn't see this big up. It doesn't look like there's been this like surge of new Jedi. But so that the Jedi still seem to be more of a myth at this point. And all their adventures 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago, have become myth, have become like just stories you hear around the galaxy. Oh yeah, when the Empire came down, blah, 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 blah. So when you have one of the leaders of the rebellion telling you that it's all true, there's such an impact that has. Yeah, we fought. Yeah, this is what happened. Yes, the Force helped us. The Empire, we brought down the Empire. It's all true. All those stories are true. So it's like meeting a legend,
right,
for them, because he was there for all of it, except for the time he was in carbon freeze. So I think
he was chilling.
Yeah,
I know.
So I think the fact that he is the one who's like telling them, what you read, what you've heard is, I think that's a really powerful thing for Han to be able to do, because especially since Harrison always kind of called Han dumb as a stump, and I think having him be the kind of a guide is very powerful for that character, and I'm just hoping and hoping and hoping that doesn't mean he's going to die.
Right.
Because there's that scene in this trailer with Rey crying over somebody.
Yes.
And a lot of people have said it's Han, and I was like, no. He would not. If he was going to die, he would do it with Leia. He would do it like where Leia was there, so he could see her before he goes.
And it's looking like Chewie. I mean, it looks a little furry.
I thought it looked furry too. I thought it was like, oh God, has Chewie fulfilled his life debt to Han?
Right.
But then we lose Chewbacca, and I don't want that to happen either. I mean, it happens in the anthology, stupidly. Don't even get me started on why they kill him off in the books.
With the moon.
But, and then you have, I guess this week on Jimmy Kimmel, Han and Chewbacca put aside their differences.
Right. That was definitely...
Harrison and Chewbacca. But... So, I mean, I don't want it to be Han, but I also don't want it to be Chewie, but I think I don't want it to be Han more. If it was Chewie, it fulfills the life debt that he owes Han, and that's kind of beautiful. And you can see that Rey spends a lot of time on the Falcon. I mean, they connect to them in a way. I'm also very curious as to that building that Han takes them to.
Yes.
One that's kind of covered in, looks like Tibetan prayer flags. I'm staring at mine that are up in my house right now.
Of course you have some.
Because I'm a Buddhist, so.
Yes. Right. Oh, that's right, of course.
So I was just like, I'm very curious, is that the headquarters? Is that a base of operations for the New Republic, if that's what we're calling it?
I mean, I've heard things about that. That's Lupita's. That's like her place.
Oh, that would be very cool too. Especially if she's that old. But Han seemed to be leading them, unless he's the one who introduces them.
Right.
Like, you need to talk to this person.
Right, that would be definitely interesting if Han knows someone that's like 1,000 years old. That would be.
Right.
It's because I was just thinking, it would just be someone that that's just brand new. I mean, this is someone that's older than Yoda.
Well, yeah, she would be older than Yoda because Yoda was only 900
Right.
when he joined the Force.
Right.
So it could be maybe an ancient Jedi.
Right. Who knows?
Another one.
Some kind of special Force user.
Yeah.
And of course that robot we know is practical, not CG.
Yeah, just like BB-8.
So that's definitely cool. We got doing a lot of practical now.
Which I think is most people's criticism of the prequels is that there's too much CGI.
Right.
And I think JJ is definitely more of a practical special effects guy. I mean, not to bring up the Star Trek thing, but a lot of those were very practical effects. So, and it goes back to old school filmmaking, but it also shows the advancements we've made in filmmaking. It's like we thought the future was CGI. Well, I think the future is now more practical effects that we couldn't do before. We had to use CGI.
Right.
But now we have the technology, thanks to George Lucas, who started it all. We have that technology to make these things that were only possible with computers. Now we can make them real.
Right. Just flipping through this trailer, it's just there's just so much happens. They never really pause a lot at one place. They just give all these little pieces, and it's just interesting for us just to kind of dissect it and just try to go through trying to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, and we finally get to really see Leia.
Yes, something. She's crying.
Yeah, either she's relieved that Han is home or she's sad. I mean, I know that from what I've read that one of the basic plot lines is somebody has found Luke's mechanical arm and his lightsaber, and Leia has sent Han to go try to find Luke. So maybe when he gets to Jakar, I always want to say Jakar, but it's Jaka. And maybe that's when he meets Rey and Finn while he's looking for Luke. So, I mean, that could be why she's upset. I don't know. So somebody said it's because she just found out Han died. And I'm like, he's the one holding her.
Yeah.
That's not a Force ghost. He's hugging his wife. And they're like, oh, that's right. I was like, oh. Jeez, people. Use your eyes. But, we don't know what's going on. I mean, that's another frustration. It's like, I want to know, but I don't want to know until I see it.
Right. It's just this, like, inner conflict. It's like, we want to know more, but we're afraid if we ask for more. And we've, all these TV spots and stuff, they've given us more.
But they're not.
Yeah,
at the same time.
But they're not.
It's like the spot at the American Music Awards was just Finn and Rey running.
Right.
It was the longest extended sequence we've seen, but it wasn't. It was just them running, and I'm like, okay, I'm thank you for giving me more of one thing, for not cutting in and out, but we don't really see anything, which is fine. But there's that part of you that's Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka, and I want it now.
Right. I love all the TIE fighters. We get a lot of TIE fighters being chased by these X-Wings. So I really like the outfits. Everyone's in their cool X-Wing outfit and such. A bit of a different take than previously. The old uniform is a bit darker, a bit more red.
Yeah, I actually really like them. The orange was fine, but it was orange.
Orange.
So I think
that color. It's that color.
That color. I think that they're sleeker. They're more, they're a little more uniform, so to speak, because it is an organization that they have official uniforms and stuff. I'm really, really. The thing I think I'm most curious about from this trailer, though, is what is Kylo Ren doing to Poe?
Yes,
in that sequence where he's like, is he showing him something? Is he causing pain? Is he changing? Is he is he going to control him? Is it mind control? Are we talking like, or, obviously he's been captured and he's being tortured in some way, but why and how and what's going on?
Right. Okay, so I guess if there's no other thoughts, I guess we can move on to the international trailer, which
Okay.
is very similar. There are some new stuff to it.
Which one is that on your list?
That's the next one. It's
Oh,
called Japanese. It's called
the international. I see it now.
it's called The Force Awakens Japanese.
Okay. I'm going to play.
Um,
You ready? Oh, I had actually seen that.
yes, I figured. I
figured
you had.
I have seen this.
Yeah, I figured you had it. It's from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I just was like, I was like, oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're busy, but you always make time for the
I
wars.
always make time for Star Wars. Yeah, it's my obsession. It's my passion in life. Yeah, not a whole lot of new stuff, but I do love that image of the TIE fighters in front of the sun.
Right.
It's very Kurosawa-y, so appropriate for the Japanese trailer.
Right. I think in this one she's with BB-8 and she's like waiting for my family.
Right, and it seems like she's just met BB-8.
Right. And of course we know how like this whole thing about people understanding droids in Star Wars has always been a bit of a mystery. So we can kind of think that she kind of guesses or really knows what BB-8 is saying, because for my family,
Right.
So by this, I didn't mention this before because I wanted to wait till we brought up this trailer, but it's the fact that by saying for my family, I think it gives a little more credence to perhaps maybe she was left. I mean that seems kind of crazy. I mean, unless she's like Luke's kid, and Luke was exiled or went to exile, and he left.
Right.
Left his. Because we don't know. I mean, Rey could have been left with another family. We just don't see them on screen. Maybe now that she's older, she kind of is on her own. But she could have been raised by another family. You never know.
Right.
Maybe
So,
Luke
and she doesn't appear to be Han's because there would be recognition
right
in the interaction. And Han and Leia would never send their kids away.
Right. Because it's, but then again, for my family. So we think that she's waiting for her family. So it's just the fact that we have this is just a whole nother, it's just a little bit. Honestly, this is what sticks out to me the most is the family thing for my family, because we were just talking about it with the other trailer.
Well, family is so important in the Star Wars universe, but it could be that her family sent her along to Jakka to wait for them, like sent her ahead. Right. And maybe they were involved in something and they were killed, but that would kind of be more like Rebels with, Ezra's parents. So, it's another one of those big questions. Who's her family? And is it Luke? Is it Han and Leia? Is it someone else related to the Empire? We don't know her last name. So maybe she's Poe Dameron's sister or something like that.
Right.
There's so many people she could be related to. Or it could just be that she, she's waiting for her family. She's just, someone that they've come upon who's destined to be a part of this, this new republic, because she doesn't seem to recognize Han and he doesn't seem to recognize her, but we still haven't seen anything of Luke.
Yes,
except possibly that one with him like petting R2.
Right. And then of course we get a little more. We learn that of course, like I don't think actually in the trailer, but we kind of deduced and we heard from somewhere else that Leia is a general now. So it looks like
She has traded the princess for a general.
Yes, no more earmuffs.
No. Well, I think she was glad to see the back of those after the first movie. But yeah, she is now General Solo.
So I guess she's picked up a little more skills and such in her past 30 years.
Well, she was always a great leader. Even as she was a senator before the Emperor dissolved the Senate, and she was the youngest senator. Following in a little bit in her mother's footsteps. But she joined the rebellion. She was the princess, but I think that Leia's mind, she's not really a princess. That really didn't kind of suit her personality. General definitely suits her personality.
Yes.
So now there's 2 General Solos.
Right. Well, I guess that was in the EU that Han suggested. So I traded in that general. So
yeah.
You would have thought by now he'd be kind of like over with this kind of thing. So maybe.
I think he kind of probably is. I think he works with them, but
yeah.
I think he supports his wife, but I don't know how involved he is.
Maybe he's more of a consultant now because he's like 70 years old. So maybe he's a consultant.
Maybe he's retired and playing golf.
Yeah, Star Wars golf.
No, I do not want to think of Han Solo playing golf. He's just out there flying, and he's Leia has him do things for her.
He takes BB-8 for.
Poor BB-8. Yeah, so we don't know what his deal is. It could be that he's in semi-retirement, and he's earned it.
Right.
Han Solo is a hero, and he should retire a hero.
Right. We get more of seeing like Chewie kind of do some kind of explosive. I thought that's kind of cool. We never really see Chewie. A lot of movement in there, because in the original he was, no, I take that back.
No, in the original he was quite spry.
Yeah, he was right.
Pulled
spry.
out that bowcaster.
Yeah.
But we do have 2 people playing him now.
Right.
Basically, so there's some things that we're going to have Peter Mayhew doing, but because of his physical infirmities, he can't do all the running, jumping, climbing trees stuff.
Right.
So they have somebody else doing that. So it's nice to see Chewie doing Chewie things. Chewie is always a very physical character, and as happy as I am that Peter Mayhew is back in the suit, I am also really glad that they're not having him do all those kind of stunts.
Right.
Because he just can't. And having met him several times, he's the loveliest man, but he is quite disabled physically. I like that we get more of Lupita.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of us were like, the only image we had really of her was with the motion capture dots on her face. And knowing more about her character, and that brings up, and her dialogue brings up more intriguing. Like she's seen her eyes before, or maybe she's talking to Finn, but they seem to really be talking about Rey. Like the trailer makes it look like they're talking about Rey,
right? Because
they show a lot of movement of her eyes while that is going on. So. I think she's definitely connected to something.
Right. We see, of course, Han on a snow planet.
Hopefully not as bad as Hoth. When we saw the footage in one of the earlier teasers of the new stormtroopers all assembled, listening to the speech of General Hux, they were on a snowy planet, not quite Hoth snow, but maybe Han is there, spying.
Right.
So that's kind of what I took from it. I was like, oh, maybe he's over there.
Right. Seeing the Falcon go through the trees and all the snow going, it's just... I just love that we're getting so much... I mean, we've really gotten... ever since that first teaser of, that Falcon going up in the air. We've just been seeing it here and there. And I think in most of these trailers
there's always an image of the Falcon flying. Which
so.
really, I think, is very smart of them to do, because there's a lot of ships that are iconic to Star Wars. You have the X-Wing and the TIEs, but I think most of us have an affection for the Falcon, and that just brings it home even more that we're connected to the original trilogy.
Right.
I mean, there's even a shadow of the Falcon in Revenge of the Sith. So there is something that's like welcoming and like bringing us home. Like TIE fighters and X-Wings could exist for thousands of years, but there's only one Millennium Falcon.
Right. Then we can talk about the ABC TV spot. So they announced that it was going to be like a TV spot on ABC on a Thursday night.
Right.
And
that's the next one.
Right.
And just...
Who are you? I'm no one. Follow me.
Nothing will stand in our way. I'll show them the dark side.
This looks an awful lot like the trailer, but there's some differences. Ooh.
Finn.
TIE fighters in a hangar.
Yep.
I'm right.
You might need this.
Yeah.
Yes, you might need this.
Oh. And Han in action. Gotta love that pose he gives when he shoots.
The Force Awakens.
He's kind of crouched down a little bit. That's such a Han thing.
Right.
It looks like maybe the building they were going into was the headquarters for the Republic, because like as Rey's walking down the stairs in looks like a similar building, she sees the back of Leia and all the people working around that big table. So I don't know. I have so many questions.
Yes.
But I love seeing Han in action again, and that, I mean, you can't miss Harrison's shooting stance. But I just love seeing it. And the Falcon always. And I think that him handing her a blaster is just too cool.
Yes. What do you think? The thing that really stands out to me is seeing Finn with the lightsaber and then a stormtrooper with some kind of. One of our listeners, Jamie, he mentioned that the staff, or the staff that the stormtrooper had, kind of reminded me of the electro staffs from the
Magna Guards.
The Magna Guards just has that similar kind of electricity kind of thing. So
it's possible. I mean, that's probably that's kind of a universal kind of a weapon, like a taser almost.
Right.
So it's possible. I mean, I can't see a weapon like that going into disuse. It's probably evolved over time.
Right. And I think it's interesting that the Stormtrooper doesn't really look any different. So maybe it's almost a standard issue thing that a lot of like guns, kind of like a what's the thing at the end of like old guns that they had up to the World War I, the knives,
the bayonets.
The bayonets. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. So maybe it's actually a gun that can like convert.
Like a blaster with a taser element to it.
Yeah, or something, because
it's possible. It is the Empire, though, or the burgeoning new Empire. They probably don't have many rules about what you can and can't do to torture somebody.
Because generally, I would expect more of like someone that looks special, like Captain Phasma, to have something like this, or someone without a helmet. So I'm really curious about this Stormtrooper, or if it's just nothing special about him. That's one thing.
This is standard issue Stormtrooper gear. Captain Phasma has that big ass gun, that big ass blaster that she's carrying around with her, which could have that capability. We don't know, because we haven't really seen her do anything but walk.
Right.
or fly a TIE fighter.
So, and for
So
some reason they thought that, they would need these weapons. It's not like there's tons of Jedi. It's not like it's during
well,
the.
it's not like it's the Clone Wars or anything, but they are trying to overthrow. As far as we can tell, they've kind of been been coming back to life, and they want to take over the galaxy again.
Right.
So they're going to do what they have to do, and if that means, not playing fair and putting extra muscle in their weapons, then that's what they're going to do. It's the Empire.
Right.
I mean, there's no rule book there.
Right.
They just want down with the New Republic.
One thing we didn't talk about was the fact that Han, Chewie, and I think Leia, right, have their hands up in the air. Oh no, Finn, Chewie, and Han have their, their
hands up. It reminded me of the bunker scene.
Right.
In Jedi, where they thought that they were trapped, and then the Ewoks came and saved them.
Right.
But it looks like they've been captured, but it doesn't look like for long.
No.
These are the guys who are going to be able to get out of it. I do think it's interesting, that Finn gets a lightsaber. Like I think in the internet, they showed it in the international trailer. I was like, we assumed it would be Rey, I think, but it looks like Finn's the one who takes the mantle of the lightsaber.
Right. So we're almost. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna have time to get into all the clips.
No.
There's just some. I would like to talk about briefly. There was like you mentioned, the AMA clip, and it was also JJ also showed it on Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
So, and we finally get some just like an actual scene, which is cool without music.
Not much of a scene.
Not much of a scene,
It's them running.
Which we already saw them running. We hadn't seen the actual scene. We just seen the trailer music.
Right. We saw like them running and TIE fighters overhead. So why are the TIE fighters targeting them? Are they just coming after Finn because he left, or he deserted his post, so they're going to go after him? Because it looks like it's relatively soon after he gets there. Because I always assumed that TIE fighter spinning damaged was him trying to get away from the other stormtroopers. So, it's like we said, every time we get another trailer, there's more questions.
Right.
Like, where the hell is Luke? That's still my big question.
Yep. So I guess we can go ahead and wrap this thing up. We're about we're close to an hour into it.
Yeah.
Or so. But
you people don't know what you're doing when you get us talking Star Wars.
Yeah. So I think it is interesting to say that also there has been $50 million in advanced ticket sales.
Yeah, we crashed Fandango.
Yep.
Several times.
Right. I mean, like at our theater, people were calling all the time, and they were saying like Fandango's crashed and all sorts of stuff. I mean, like we have reserved.
We got our tickets.
Yeah, I have tickets for Thursday night and Sunday night to see it with my family, or see it with my parents.
I have tickets on Thursday night at 10:30, and our theater has the reserved seats.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like I'm in the front row, but I don't care. And it's not 3D, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just seeing it the first night. I don't care where I have to sit. And our seats in this theater recline. Like seriously, like almost flat.
Oh yeah.
And they're gigantic, big lazy. They look like big lazy boys. So it is the most. I mean, people bring blankets and pillows to this theater. It is the most comfortable seating, and we're going to recline as far back as we can. And I'm going with two friends, and we're just going to enjoy the hell out of it. And the theater here is playing it 24 hours a day all weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be, the theater will be open for like 72 hours straight.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, our theater, like, I can look on the since I work at the theater, I can look on the computer, and I mean, I guess I can look on Fandango as well to see what the seating is like, but it's easier
Mhm.
just to look on our computer because I just do a few clicks. So I don't have to go through the ordering process to look at the seat selection. So
Yeah, that was the only part. Like, I had tickets, like, I got in for the first showing at 7 o'clock, but it wouldn't let me choose a seat, so I lost the ticket. Like, the site was not loading because
yeah,
it was so overloaded. And I started trying the minute they went on sale. So it made me happy that so many people want to see. I mean, it's pretty much sold out opening night everywhere.
yeah.
Um,
I
this is
mean,
going to be the biggest movie of the last few years. I think it's going to be even bigger than Jurassic. It's definitely going to be bigger than Jurassic World, and definitely bigger than the Avengers, in terms of ticket sales. And I think critically, it will probably be as well.
yeah. Um, I mean, like a couple of our screens, like we have one. I mean, at the theater I work at, we really only have like one sold out screen, but a lot of the other screenings are like there's only like front row seating or like little seats here and there. So if you want to, so it's people that want to go on Thursday unless they want to go late. They're out of luck. So,
Yeah,
luckily
I
there's
know.
plenty of theaters in the DC area. So,
Yeah, I know that we have a few theaters around here, but I know that they're all sold out for opening for both Thursday and Friday.
wow, yeah,
Yeah, my roommate is going to see it at 7 a.m. on Saturday.
wow, whew, that's early.
I know. I was like, okay, I will be asleep, or at that time.
Right.
But it's going to be a phenomenon. I mean, it's the thing I've looked forward to most for the last few years. I mean, just knowing it's coming has been like a dream come true. I mean, I thought I was done. I thought we were done after the prequels, and I cried. And I saw Revenge of the Sith 7 times in the theater because I didn't want it to go away. I didn't want it to be over, and now it's back, and it's even going to be way better than the prequels, and it's going to make me cry. I will definitely cry. I've already warned the people I'm going with.
Yep.
I will be a sobbing mess because it's back, and if anything happens to Han or Chewie, I will be a sobbing mess.
Yep.
I will start a new campaign like I did for Coulson. We founded the Coulson Lives movement, and you know what? If I have to do a Chewie Lives movement, I will.
Cool. Yep. Yeah. So I'm seeing it. I got my tickets a bit late. I posted them on the page. I'm seeing it at 7:30 Thursday night. Not at a reserved seating theater because I just waited too late. So I'll be there a bit earlier. It'll be one of those kind of events where you get there really early to get a good seat. So and that's a theater that's closest to our house. It's
Yeah.
because of studio rules at the theater I work at, employees can't get free tickets till like January 4th. So,
Yeah.
because of studio rules. So that's the first movie that's happened since I've worked there, and might be the first. I don't know ever. I don't know. Maybe for the first Avengers movie they did that, but since I've worked there, I've never heard of that. Like I was able to. I think I could have seen Jurassic World opening day first showing. I mean, a lot of the
Yeah.
movies I see opening day at the theater I work at. I can't see movies Friday night or Saturday or Sunday morning because those are the peak times.
Right. They want you to pay.
Right. So I usually go like Friday morning or so. So
That's such an amazing thing. I used to always want to work in a movie theater just so I could see the movies ahead of time.
yeah.
But
So starting January 4th, if I'm not watching an Oscar related movie, I'll be seeing Star Wars.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Our friend of the show, Leah, is coming up to visit December 30th, so I'm pretty sure we'll see it a few times while she's here.
Yeah.
So just so we could see it together, but I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing it more than 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. Luckily it'll be a while till we have some big time releases. I mean, I'll be seeing a lot more movies after because I'm big into the Oscars. So
Right.
But as far as it's not like it's in the middle of the summer where we have tons of other big blockbuster movies.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
after Star Wars, the next one, at least franchise goes. I mean, I guess that would be Deadpool. Is there anything else between?
Deadpool's not really. It's a Marvel film, but it's not because Marvel doesn't have the right to that character right now for filming. It's Fox.
Yeah, it's still a comic book. Still a comic.
It's still a comic book. It's going to be very different. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Then we have oh God, what is coming out now? Civil War.
Well, before that we have Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. I have so little interest in seeing it.
Really?
I'm so pissed at what they're doing. I didn't like Man of Steel. I thought it was horrible. It wasn't Superman to me. The only thing, my roommate James and I might go see it just to see Wonder Woman because she is my goddess. The shrine, I have a shrine to her in my house. So I want to make sure that they're doing Wonder Woman right because they're starting to shoot the movie now. But other than that, I have no interest in seeing Batman v Superman.
All right. Anyway,
I don't need to see Batfleck.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's where we differ very much because I am just dying to see this movie. I watched that trailer is one of my favorite trailers this year. So
I liked seeing Wonder Woman. She looked very Wonder Woman-y. I'm reserving judgment until I actually see what she can do as an actress. But yeah, it was just like I have so little interest in that movie. It just, the trailer just made me even madder and even more upset at how not Superman-y and Batman-y it was.
Yeah, well, I think that's a bit of a what exactly is Batman or Superman?
Right, and I'm a comic book nerd, so my Batman is the Batman from the comics. So, and I loved Christian Bale's Batman. I thought he was as close to who Batman is as anybody can get.
I will say that this new Batman will be massive, kind of like.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a tank.
Yeah.
His suit looks like a tank. I'm just like, okay.
Anyway, so
as we digress.
As we digress. So, if people want to find us, how can they find us?
Well, on Twitter, we are at Radio Free Endor, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/RadioFreeEndor. If you want to find Jonathan or I, Jonathan is at JEBell49er, and I am at IheartCoalsonsend.
Cool. And I know we've been announcing this on Radio Free Endor, not on Rebels Cast, but I don't think we've announced it here, but
I don't think so.
Me and Nicki are leaving.
Yep.
As the permanent host, so just a lot of stuff going on for both of us. You're starting school hopefully soon, but we don't really know. I started this new school program to hopefully teach abroad. We're moving to the Midwest. Job. Just kind of taking a break in general. We wouldn't be able to give Radio Free Endor everything we wanted to. I mean, even now, look at our. Big Picture Radio. It's like it has the same amount of episodes.
Yeah.
And that podcast just started in June or so.
Yeah.
If
we can't give Radio Free Endor the time it deserves, we want to pass it to somebody who can.
Yeah, we have a great guy. We're pretty sure he's going to be one of the hosts. Great guy from the UK. So if you want a chance to become a host on Radio Free Endor, just send your, and this is also the email. Wait, did you already give the email?
I did not give the email.
Okay, so email your audition to radiofreeendor@gmail.com. Just kind of, it can be you and a partner, or just you. I know it's a bit. You only have through December. We kind of decided on December 1st. I know that's a little soon. Yeah. So sorry about that, folks. But that's the result of us not being able to get a new show out.
Yeah.
So.
We try. We really try.
You know, so that's another part. It's hard to do Rebels Cast and Radio Free Endor, and I'm also behind on Radio Ramen and Big Picture Radio. We've been consistent on.
Yeah.
That's kind of been my thing. So.
Well, we also have a time zone issues and work schedules, so it's just we weren't being able to devote the time we wanted to give the best podcast we could, and it was better to say, well, let's let somebody else who can make it their baby.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good that also we have Rebels Cast hosts, and they will be different from the Radio Free Indoor host. I mean, not to say that they can't guest on each other's, you know.
But that's between them now.
That's between them. I mean, I'll stay on as advisor, just kind of helping, you know, because I'm kind of the head host of my podcast, so I'll kind of stay on to help them around, and you know, if they invite you, Nikki, and invite me, hopefully,
if they ask and I can do it, I'd be happy to.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we'll try to do another episode before The Force Awakens comes out, but no promises because it's coming out pretty darn soon.
We've got less than a month. We've got.
We'll definitely do a
less than 30 days.
Right. So we'll do a Big Picture Radio Free Indoor crossover. If like right after the movie comes out, and if Nikki says, I mean, if you can't make it, we'll do a Radio Free Indoor, like playing Radio Free Indoor, just you and me talking about the movie, because if I sit back and let you talk about it and me talk like a teeny bit, we'll still do at least an hour or two. You know, and I'll have seen it in IMAX by then.
Yes, me too.
So, because we're hopeful we'll record the crossover episode, and we have a couple great guests. It's not like it's like recognizable, but two great guys that hopefully will be able to come on. So yeah.
Okay, officially, according to my countdown app, we have 22 days, 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 1 second till The Force Awakens.
Wow, cool stuff. All right, so I guess we can go close this thing out. Also, the Southgate Media Group has tons of podcasts. They're always starting new ones. I mean, the Enough Said, they're starting which is the Marvel podcast. We're starting a Jessica Jones, you know, cast as well. So if you like Jessica Jones,
which was awesome.
I still haven't watched it all. You know, I've only watched like part of the first episode. I think I've just been so busy.
We binged it in one night. So.
Oh yeah. I need to do that.
Worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so leave us a review on iTunes and such. For both Radio Free Indoor and Rebels Cast, we'll try our best to get caught up with Rebels before, you know, because we're stepping down like around January or so. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up, and of course doing 2 episodes at once. So maybe, you know, we might just be doing Rebels Cast for the next couple weeks in December. You know,
just to catch up.
Just to catch up and try to stay on target, at least even if it's doing 2 episodes a week, which is what we've been doing for a while. So,
right.
You know, because we don't want to get behind, and because I mean there's just not a whole lot more to talk about for The Force Awakens, because I mean we could get some more TV spots, and like I said, there's some footage we didn't talk about, but right now I think we can both agree on. We could disagree on some stuff, as discussed in nausea, but and I think at other times. But I think we both agree, and we're just waiting for The Force Awakens, and you know, so and JJ said on the Jimmy Kimmel show, the first verbal word, not the crawl, which I assume we'll have, but it will be this. That is the first word of The Force Awakens. So go with that, explore that however you want. You know, it's this. This looks like a beach ball, referring to BB-8, you know, or this is the light side, this is where it ends. I don't know. Anyway, really excited for it. Tons of merchandise coming out, you know.
Yeah, even CoverGirl has a makeup line, which we were supposed to get at my store, but we got like a teeny tiny one. So I now have Star Wars lipstick.
Good for you.
That I will never wear, because I don't wear makeup. But yeah, we've been getting a lot of exclusive Star Wars stuff at the store, and there's just, you know, I worried when Disney took over that they'd over merchandise Star Wars, and they have, because we have Star Wars candy necklaces. But yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff coming out, and hopefully it won't get to be nauseating.
Right. All right. So. For Radio Free Endor in the Southgate Media Group, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Nikki.
And thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Hello. Just wanted to give you my reaction to the new trailer. I have, it's just after 5, and I'm on my way to work, and I'm watching it. Well, let me just say that I've watched it about 10 times before I left the house. Listen to the audio as I'm in the car, and my God, I just can't believe what my eyeballs are seeing. Tears of joy. It's just unbelievable. I'm just so caught up in the moment. The music, the Falcon, everything about this trailer just makes me think, oh my God, I'm going to have to take tissues with me when I go and see this film. It's the dawn of a brand new Star Wars, but I feel like a kid again. Oh my God, it's the old and it's the new. I feel 7. I feel like I've just become 7 again, and it's fantastic. You know what I mean? I just feel so young all of a sudden watching this film, and my mum is probably looking down on me going, you enjoy yourself, son, you do. Because she started me on this journey, and I'm not finished with this journey. I'm still going, and I'm going to pass that legacy to my kids. And I just can't express what I've just seen. It's when you see the Falcon just flying and the music, it's just unbelievable. And can we just give John Williams the Oscar for best trailer music? I think if I just listen to the audio of the music, I will roar my eyes out. I'm welling up now, just thinking about it. It's unbelievable. I'm just, you know, and when that shot of where you can hear the Falcon jump into hyperspace, and then it comes towards you and zooms past you, it's like, this is what I've dreamt about. This is like having the toy in my hand, and the way I used to play with it coming towards me, but now it's actually on film. I can understand that JJ is a big Star Wars fan, and I think that he gets it. It's the toy. You know what I mean? It's the toy in his hand. He's doing what we've all dreamed of doing, and hats off to him. If this film is half as good as what he's done with this trailer, we're in for into a nostalgic surprise and wonder, and eyeballs are just going to be like wide and mouths dropped. It's just going to be absolutely fantastic. You know, and Harrison Ford, when he says, you know what I mean, it's all true, and the music where he goes, the stories, it's all true, and I was like, oh my God, fantastic. Now, a couple of bits that I did pick up on was in one of the teaser trailers you saw not Ren. Oh God, my mind's gone scrambled. I can't think of what her name is now. But she looked up and she saw the couple of TIE fighters flying across the skyline. That's not in the trailer. Yeah, the others were. The other bits were. And the other bit that sticks in my mind, it's not a fault, it just sticks in my mind, is Kylo Ren's voice. I'll probably grow to love it, but it sounds like something I've done on my own synthesizer machine. That's the only bit that I can say. But oh my god, it's a lot to take in this. Okay, that's me done. See you later then, Jonathan and Nicki. You take care. Looking forward to listening to your views about this trailer. I'm going to have to watch it another 500 times and cry my eyeballs out. See you later. Bye-bye.